Now that we know how to create tables from scratch, let's talk about projecting tables. So select statements can project existing tables into new tables. A select statement can specify an input using a from clause. So I told you that select statements look like this. Expression is name, expression is nays. These together are all just descriptions of the columns of the result. Select statements can have other things than just column descriptions. The from clause says which table we're going to take rows from in order to create these columns. A subset of the rows of the input table can be selected using a where clause. So I could say from somewhere, where some condition holds, and then I'll only get some of the rows from this table. And in what order? Well, an ordering over the remaining rows can be declared using an order by clause. So now we can see that there are lots of different parts to a select statement. Column descriptions determine how each input row that remains after you filter it with where and order it with order by is projected into a result row. So every select statement creates a new table with rows and columns. The columns are described here. The rows that we choose are here, but the input rows get transformed or projected into the output rows. So imagine I have my parents table, which I already told you about, and then I write another select statement. Select child from parents. Parents is the name of the table that contains these data, where parent equals Abraham. Well, here are all of the different child-parent pairs, where the parent is Abraham, and the children are Barack and Clinton. So by executing this select statement, we'll get a table with a child column with Barack and Clinton as the rows. If instead I said select parent from parents, where parent is greater than child, comparison of string values will choose their alphabetical order. So this says parent is later in the alphabet than child. What will be created in the output table? We'll have a table with a single column, the parent column, which will contain all of the different parents that come later in the alphabet than their children. Fillmore comes after Abraham. Fillmore also comes after Delano. There aren't any other cases like that, and so we get Fillmore twice. So here we can see it's possible to have the same row, in terms of its values, repeated multiple times in a table. Let's actually execute these different statements and watch how they work. I'm going to use the online SQL interpreter. Here's the create table statement for parents. If I execute it, then parents is defined. I could select all of the columns, that's shorthand for all of the columns, from parents in order to see what's in that table. And it says that parent and child are the two columns, and here's all the data within. So if I want to select the child from parents, where the parent is named Abraham, executing that will give me Barack and Clinton. If instead I want the parent, where the parent is greater than the child, we see that Fillmore appears twice. It's certainly also possible to investigate all of these examples in SQLite from the command line. I can create the table that I talked about before, and then select star from parents to get the entire table, which is printed out as values separated by vertical bars. If I only want the child from parents, where the parent is Abraham, I'll get Barack and Clinton.